That's much better. You cannot see me nearly as well. I had my higher lens on before, and you could like see every single hair that I hadn't shaved on my face. I'm not having any of that. Okay, so as the title says, this is my review video for the Netflix TV show The Returned. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to discuss was the character Camille. Now, Camille dies basically from a bus accident. Now, the interesting thing about Camille is that she has a twin sister. And when Camille died, the twin sister was basically off having sex with a boy that they both liked. And they had this kind of like psychic link almost that allowed her to feel her having the orgasm just before she died, and she felt that she was with the boy, and it was kind of creepy, but it happened. And that whole storyline's cool. The psychic link thing is awesome, the death thing is awesome, all that kind of stuff is a really good story point, I suppose. But the thing I wanted to discuss was the gash wound thing. Now, when Camille died, we're assuming that she was impaled by some kind of pole, because her sister, later on, when she comes back to life, develops this cut on her back that then grows into this big, massive gash wound that is slowly but surely killing her. So Camille's come back, and Lena, her sister, is basically dying from what seems to be Camille's initial death wound, and it's, you know, when you're in that moment watching this episode, you're thinking, okay, so Lena is going to die so Camille can live. Now, that was the initial thought that I had, and I thought, oh, this is getting kind of creepy, this is kind of dark. But over the next episode or so, the gash wound just goes away, and we're not given any reason why it goes away, it just kind of does. And it's kind of brushed under the mattressy thing, as I was stricken with guilt when you died because I wasn't on the bus with you when you died, and then you died without me, and I should have been there, and blah blah blah, but now I've stopped blaming myself and everything's fine. I think that's the biggest cop-out in the world, because that could have been such a cool story point, and it was just kind of like, there was no point to that. You know what I mean? You know, maybe? No? I thought it was a bit of a waste, in my personal opinion. Okay, so the next character I wanted to discuss was Peter Lattimore. Now, he's kind of a character that I'm using to kind of discuss a couple of different things in this TV series. So he's this like good guy of the town. He helps people. He's like the charity guy. Now, with this character, very late on in the series, towards the end actually, I think it's the final episode, we find out that he is also someone who died and came back to life. But he didn't die around the same time period as the people, the main characters, the main returned people. He died maybe 20, 30 years ago, and then he just kind of came back to life. That's fine, that's totally okay. But throughout the entire TV show, the director's kind of been showing us that all these people who have returned have this massive hunger for food, just like constantly eating. And Peter never had any of that. We never saw him eating excessively. We never saw him sleeping, which was another thing the returned people had, was that they didn't sleep. I may have been fixating on this hunger thing, and I think throughout the whole series I was like, ooh, when are they going to address this thing that all of these people are hungry, or is it anything they need to address? But it felt like we should have been given off some cues. Even showing him eating, I don't know. It probably doesn't even matter at all, but it kind of threw me a little bit. The character Peter, though, he's kind of there, I suppose, to answer some of our questions as well, like, do they age? Well, he died when he was like 17 and now he's in his 40s, so yes, I guess they age. And perhaps he's also there to show us that the hunger thing goes away after time. So perhaps that was the situation was, but that was just something that threw me, and I thought, does anyone else maybe? If you've got an explanation for that, please leave a comment below if you've watched the show, and if you agree with me, please let me know as well, because I'm not sure. So the next character I wanted to discuss was Julie Hahn. Now, throughout the whole series, we're kind of given this question of, is she dead or isn't she dead? Now, sitting here right now, I don't know if she's dead or not, and I've just finished watching the end of season 1, and I don't necessarily think we need to know if she's dead or not. There are some instances where we're pushed to think that she most definitely is dead, basically because we saw her get stabbed multiple times and then had her stomach eaten. But then if we look at the TV series and we think about all the people who are returned, they don't sleep and they have extreme hunger, and she didn't have either of those things. but then she's also kind of looked at as some kind of other mythical creature kind of thing. So I'm just very confused about Julie Han as a character in general. I don't really know where she's going or what her purpose is, and I suppose that's something that could be answered in a season 2. But that brings me to my next point and my overall thing about this TV series. In this season 1, we got no answers whatsoever, which maybe isn't a bad thing, but it pissed me off severely. So the TV series introduced a whole bunch of different questions, mainly why are they back? And I'm not expecting that to be answered at all at the end of season 1, but absolutely nothing was concluded at the end of season 1. So I'm kind of thinking, like, if this doesn't get a season 2, I feel like I'm missing 3 episodes, or there just was absolutely no conclusion. But in saying that, I really want to go and watch season 2 now. Overall, Returned was made wonderfully. The story points were fantastic. Some characters confused me a little bit with their personalities, like Rowan Blackshaw really confused me. She started off as a really strong character. Then she did some things that were completely understandable. Then she did some things that were completely not understandable. Not in a case of reacting to the situation, just that it didn't make sense in any kind of realm of fantasy or in reality. But so there are a couple of different holes in some characters, but overall I think the TV show was really good. But there are a lot of points that annoyed me and irritated me. So if you watched season 1, let me know your thoughts below. I'm a little iffy on it because I feel like I've been left without any answers, and some things are a bit funny, but it was a good show overall. I've written up a whole thing on my blog about this season 1 of The Returned, and you can go check that out over here if you'd like, and I write a whole bunch of other blogs on there as well. And I had a comment last time from one of my viewers wanting to know my Spotify details, so you can get that in the description below as well. So thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Oh my god, my drafts came back. Thank you. I thought I lost you forever, baby. Please don't do that again. Bye.